Good morning. I almost don't even feel like doing a video today. Of course, I'm doing one because that's how I am. To me, consistency is an extremely important value, and I feel I owe it to myself first and to the community and the many individuals that tune in and day out, whether I'm up or down, regardless of where I am in my emotional experience and what I'm feeling in my life and facing in my life. Many friends around the world do watch or listen every day, and that's a blessing. Anyway, today's title is actually one that you'll see. 2012, The Greatest Evil is Silence in the Face of Injustice. This was the title I was going to use yesterday until I was asked to talk about Hungary's borders. You see, I have been feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of having to maintain the legal battles. I want so much to experience simple peace. And I get to feeling impatient at times when things seem to drag out. It has often seemed as if a battle was nearly won, only to see events occur to take everything back a few steps. And then there's the feeling of lack of support from so many of my local friends that seem so distant. So few in my physical world are willing to face injustice, which to me seems evil. When I clicked on Mike Dooley's message for today, the Tuts message, I chuckled for its appropriateness with what I was going to be talking about. No accidents, you see. Mike wrote, "Funny, huh, Ron, how some folks think that avoiding challenges will bring them peace? As if the peace they now know didn't come from earlier challenges that were faced and mastered." Okay, not really that funny. The universe, and then the PS is, the more challenges one faces today, Ron, the more woohoos, yeehaws, and holy Batmans tomorrow. It's always tomorrow, isn't it? And that's not living in the now, they say. Except we do live in a time-space continuum, and that's how our experience unfolds. As I sat in the atrium in the latter part of the afternoon yesterday, getting interrupted by a phone call, and when I ran to the phone and finally answered it on the fourth ring, they had already, I guess the message had already started, and they hung up, but I saw who it was and called back. Anyway, I was having a little pity party out in the atrium as I was thinking of how I feel in my local community, and how over the past year some of the groups that I have felt that I was leaning on for support, they seem to be being pulled away. I mean, the one last year in September, of course, the church that I had been going to, the pod for so long, that stopped happening for me. And to this day, some of those people I still feel are extremely distant and from me and alienated in regard to me. And then there's been some other groups that I've leaned on, that I've mentioned on daily videos. And after what happened there in the one group last week, my feeling is almost like that's not a support group for me either. And then another support group, I'm feeling less support than I'd like. And even in the Republic, it's not always the support that I have, and it's like the universe is forcing me to at least feel the feelings of standing alone. Some of the people that I've trusted don't seem to be where I want them to be, but I'm realizing as I meditate that the universe is saying that I'm the one that I have to depend on. I've often looked for the community to give me the support and validation that I sought, even if it was a projection, which apparently they often were projections, lies to myself that people understood me. And yet, and I know I hear so many of you that feel like you don't have anybody in your world. Like nobody really understands you. I hear you. And it's good that I hear you, because it lets me know that I'm not the only one that feels that way. And yet, the challenges that we face, I am convinced in my better moments, are given to build us up. They're given to strengthen us, even though it often feels like they're accomplishing the exact opposite. I would love people all over the world to stand up for truth when the lies are all around and so obvious to me. And yet I realize, looking back, how some of the things that I now take for granted, it's a given for me, when I first heard them, how difficult it was to accept that I had been deceived, that I had gotten it wrong for so long. Just how the money system alone works. I'm trying to get people to see that it's all a fraud. The entire system, the entire financial house of cards is nothing but a big con game, and we are the ones who have conned ourselves by playing that game. We've been conned, and we con ourselves. I got a call from my bank yesterday, actually a survey that was supposed to take 6.5 minutes, and it probably took 15 to 20 minutes, but that's because of my big mouth. I really like the people in my local branch bank, but then they started asking about the bank in general, not in respect to my experience with actual human beings. And I went from giving very high grades to very low grades, because I do believe that at the level of CEOs and chief operating officers and chief financial officers and most of these banking corporations, and as well as multinational corporations, they know they're committing fraud. They can't not know it. They can't not know it. And I want so much for people to take a stand together and to bring these injustices and inequities excuse me, and this fraud out into the open so that it can be fixed. Nothing gets fixed when it stays hidden. And that's why I say the greatest evil in the world is silence in the face of injustice. When people recognize that something isn't right, and they think that the way to handle it is to not do anything about it, to avoid it, to deny it, to turn your back on the problem, and to turn your back on the people that are trying to face the problem, as I'm doing, which is what so many in my world seem to be doing to me. And I say, it's to me. Yeah, I was playing victim yesterday. And a little bit the last few days. I've been playing victim a little bit because I like it when I feel like people are standing with me. It's a good feeling to feel that support. And it's important for me that it comes from people in my world. And by in my world, I don't mean the internet world. I mean the world where I can touch people and see them, talk to them face to face, and get hugs and give hugs and bounce things off of them and have communication and conversation. And sometimes it seems there's so little of that. Sad thought just landed and touched my heart. I'm not even going to say it. But sometimes the people that I care about the most don't even seem to check on me. Yeah. See, I told you, I'm feeling a bit of a pity party. And I ask your forgiveness for that. So many of you think that when I talk about these things, you don't like it. You'd rather have me be spiritual because to you, spiritual means to be upbeat, to be positive-minded, to be in the good energy and not the bad energy. In fact, I read something at some point yesterday. Oh, it was in Matthew's message, newest message, that when you're feeling down, don't bother trying to connect with the higher entities because you can't reach them because you're in a low energy. And so when you try to connect with the higher energies, the higher entities, the angelic realm, you can't reach them. And so what you're going to reach are the negative entities that vibrate at that level. And that is such a prevalent teaching in the New Age community. And it makes me angry even to ponder the idea of it. That when you're feeling the lowest and you're trying to reach high, to be lifted up, according to that message, what you're going to get is more low energy. Seems ass backwards to me. It doesn't seem right. And I've complained to Spirit about that more than once in my life, believe me. Where are you when I'm feeling sorry for myself? Where are you when I'm feeling hurt? When I'm feeling alone? Where are you at the times that I really need you? Those are the times that I don't sense your presence. And then I understand why. Because what I'm getting is more of what I'm already feeling. I don't like the way that works. I really don't. There may be some wisdom in it, but when I'm going through it, that feels like a slap in the face. It really does. Anyway, this is where I am this morning. And this may or may not make sense to somebody. But I've kept my promise to myself and to God and to the community to be honest and sincere, to do a video every day. And let me just say that I was really blessed at the close of last night's Republic call listening to Tim Turner. I don't care what people say about him. I find him to be an extremely humble and honest man. And I think that that's becoming more and more obvious as the Republic goes through its own growing pains. That's all I'm going to say on that. I do love each one of you. And sometimes I wish I could just give you a hug and get one back. I wish I could hug all 3,000 plus of my friends and subscribers, or probably there might be over 4,000, who knows. Although there's only 3,000 and something on each Facebook and YouTube. I'm sure some people are just only on one and not the other. Anyway, have a great day. Namaste. Chin up.